Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here tonight. We're here for City Council meeting. It is Tuesday, January 17th, 2023, and we'll start this meeting with a roll call and determination of quorum.
Nordstrom.
Here.
Solomon. Here. Roberts. Stroman.
Here.
Armstrong. Here. Jones.
Here.
Lehman. Ham. Evans. Here. Roseland. We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. Tonight, I don't believe we have an indicator tonight. If you could join us in a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And now for the adoption of the agenda. Second. I have a motion to adopt the agenda by Solomon, second by Jones. All in favor of adoption of the agenda, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Motion carries. At this time, Alderman Jones has asked for a moment of personal privilege, so we'll go to Pat Jones.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I attended a really cool event the other day that I didn't even know this organization existed, and I just want to share it with my fellow council members and the community to know that there's something really great, one of the many great things going on in Rapid City. West River Area Health Education Center, they are at the Black Hills State University campus just east of town, held an open house to talk about all the programs they offer, and they are offering training programs in CNA, in nursing, RN, LPN, all kinds of health services and training to help create the next generation of healthcare professionals that we all are certainly going to need as we age and have more healthcare needs. It's a fantastic, fairly new program that is already doing great things, and if you or someone is interested in a healthcare career of any type, they are certainly the ones to get a hold of. They also had a great baked potato bar for lunch, so I enjoyed that. But it was just great talking with them. They are excited about their programs. They have some great grants. They are working with other organizations in town, and I wish them much success. I appreciated the invitation and hope that they can continue to do the great things they're doing. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you. And I was just noticing that's kind of nice up here tonight. Is there a motion to reduce the city council to 7 members? Okay, we have a motion. Okay. No reflection on the 3 who aren't here tonight. All right, starting off then with the agenda, item number 1 is an annual review presentation from the Rapid City Human Relations Commission.
Hello, everybody. LaFawn Janice. I've known quite a few of you. I have the privilege to have joined the City of Rapid City back in late June. So I've got about a half year under my belt with the Human Relations Commission. And this year, the commission has been really busy. These pictures will just scroll through while I go through and recap what we've been up to this year. We have had learning forums and many conversations. The impact of public education, which was hosted or co-hosted by the Youth City Council, was really successful. About 150 people showed up to that. Racial prejudice and our economy, about 190 people showed up to that. We had a civil discourse with our community, and it was right when the evening came at 4 p.m., so the amount of people was about 50 in attendance. The conversation was really great, though. Then we had a Mountaintop. It's a Dr. King play in partnership with the Black Hills Area Community Theater. Black Hills Community Theater. Okay. And then Immersion About Place, which is a grant that we received, and it's a learning series that included coffee chats. So what we tried to do is bring together this first cohort, about 30 individuals in Rapid City, and gave them coffee chat cards to go to coffee with somebody that they normally would not go to coffee with. So that was really exciting and successful to hear their feedback. More people created relationships. And then we took them around the city for one of the days, and they got to see efforts that are happening amongst the Indigenous community. And I'll share some of that feedback after I finish this. We engage with the Youth City Council consistently. We partnered with the RCPD for a community mural project with the youth and some, oh, right there, those kiddos there. It's really cute if you've driven by it. And then we helped sponsor the horse camp that was led by Delaney Apple at Knollwood Heights, and that was pretty phenomenal. Hopefully some of you got to attend and support that. We did a Knollwood candy drive, in which the picture will come up here soon, and Daryl, of course, counted all the candy, and over 12,000 pieces were donated, so that was really exciting. And then we went to the Rapid City Pride to just bring awareness of what the Human Relations Commission does. And this year, you know, Wachipi 101 has been consistently part of the Black Hills Powwow. However, this year we helped partner with that to provide that. And the feedback from that was pretty amazing too. Many non-Native community members felt really comfortable, and we're really, really grateful to learn about our Wachipi powwow. So we'll probably, hopefully, consistently help with that over the next coming years. We brought back the Lakota Nation Invitational Corporate Hand Games, and then was also the event sponsor for the entire hand games. So Daryl, could you restart that? Sorry. There we go. Just so you guys can see some more of the pictures. And then we had the red carpet welcome, which I believe many of you attended as well, so thank you for being there. As somebody who grew up in Rapid City and not always knowing where we are, can live freely and are accepted, the red carpet welcome on a personal note is just phenomenal. So I want to thank you all for participating in that. And then, of course, the Rapid City Indian Boarding School Lands Project, the Memorial Walk, we're always a sponsor, or I should say help out with that. And then being one of the 3 cities, which we did the presentation at the last City Council meeting, went to the National Humanities Alliance Conference in LA, and the presentation went well. And then we also supported the Siouan Big Crow film during the Lakota Nation Invitational. As if many of you have been paying attention to our basketball in the region, Siouan Big Crow was a phenomenal force back in the late 80s, early 90s. So it was nice to see her voice and hear her again, or see her and hear her voice. And then, of course, we're consistently trying to help RCPD and whatnot in the efforts in the Knollwood area. And then as far as the HRC office, we assist with concerns and complaints that come through that happen here in Rapid City with any discriminatory actions. And then this coming year, we will have quarterly educational forums and roundtable discussions, which many of you will, or you will all be invited to. We'll always consistently review and help address discrimination complaints that are brought into the Human Relations Office. The Immersion About Place programming will host relationship building lunches. So we figure, you know, we'll keep them about an attendance of 10 so people can start building relationships and getting to know each other. And I'm sure you all will be invited to those as well. And then we will provide community book club sessions for the public. And then always, you know, we'll participate in community events to spread the awareness of what the HRC Commission is up to, and then be an informational resource for any concerns that we're unable to help with. We can get community resources out to people that are needing of assistance. So thank you. Karen Mortimer.
Thanks, LaFawn. Good evening. It's great to see everyone tonight and come back and talk a little bit more about where this commission has been and where we're going. I'm going to kind of take you, and it's going to be very brief, and we can provide lots of details for you at another time. We know that you're busy people, so we're just going to give you kind of a framework of where we are. When Mayor Allender, back, I think it was 2019, was looking at the Human Relations Commission and said we either need to revise it or get rid of it. And he appointed a task force that a number of us were on, and we came back with a recommendation to continue the commission, but look at it in a different way. Because in the past, it was largely a judicial kind of looking at complaints and trying to make decisions about that. We have not abandoned that that work, but we've expanded on the way we do that. And so basically, the task force recommendations were to be responsive to voices in the community, to address concerns, and to build community. Because I was just talking to Vicki Fisher on the way in, and really this work is about building relationships, actually one relationship at a time. Not slow, but it happens more quickly than one would realize. The work was designed to be inclusive and to promote civil discourse, human rights, and resource development. So I think you can hear from what LaFawn said is that those things are now happening. So we created this, what we kind of called a partnership with MOA, because the MOA group, the Minnelusa Kolakichiapi Ambassadors, have been doing a lot of the proactive work, the building community work. The Human Relations Commission had a structure and a ability to, and the city has a really important responsibility to listen to concerns from the community. So, in the last few years, we've evolved. And the evolution, I think you'll find exciting. We sure do. We've continued to keep the complaint process or the concern process intact, and we're expanding it. We might respond to something that actually needs judicial guidance or case management, but we're also looking at alternative ways to mediate and solve problems in our community, and had some really good success. This is a work in progress, but we're really on it. The other part is community building work, which LaFawn just talked about, all the good things that we've been doing and continuing to do that we do see show growth in community building and relationship building. So the work that the MOA brought to this was something called BEAM. It's on your handout. You've seen it multiple times, I hope. And it's what that stands for is building bridges, educating ourselves and others, advocacy, and modeling respectful behavior. It's hard to argue with that. And so with this, we always have believed, and I know that you do too, that this is not only a civic responsibility to listen and build community, but it's also a community responsibility. So we have evolved. It's a true evolution from kind of two separate kinds of approaches to one. We have a new name that we like to propose to you, and we really know that there's a lot of community investment not just in dollars. Dollars are important, but the human capital is even more important. So we're excited to share this. We have learned a lot over time. We've learned that relationships take time, that change happens at the speed of trust, and we're trying to build trust and relationships 1% at a time. And we thank you so sincerely for this opportunity and for this opportunity to grow. we feel like we're in pretty solid ground, and we've got a fantastic commission. So my thanks to you, and I'm going to turn it over to Lloyd for some a little bit more description about the name and acknowledging. Oh, and I do want to, on the back of the form, the businesses at the bottom, businesses have been helpful and contributing not just in dollars, but in human capital. So if you see somebody from any one of those organizations, be sure to thank them, if you will. Lloyd?
Well, thank you, Karen and LaFawn, and thank you, City Council, for hearing us out today. Some of the things that you're going to see come forward within the next month or so is, number one, is a proposed name change. We had a retreat back in December and did some soul searching of where we want to go, what we want to do, and we come up with some guidelines, and one of them is a name change, and we're suggesting community relations instead of the human relations. So that'll be coming forward to you. We also did some work on our bylaws. We did away with like the executive committee, and we did some discussions on the funding and allocations and where they go and how they go. So you're going to see the bylaws coming forward to you for your approval too within the next month or two. So I wanted to get those out to you. The retreat was a great learning experience for our commission. I want to tell you, this commission is made up of taskmasters. I mean, you say one thing and they get on it and they can have it done within a couple of days. When it comes to a forum, working on something, that's what I call them, as taskmasters. So with that being said, I wanted to recognize our commissioners to you. It's Bill May, Paula Lomfox, Denise Meyer, Amy Sazu, Barry Tice, who just come on, Karen Mortimer, Walt Swan, who's, you guys, if you approve him tonight, but he did show up at our last meeting and was very instrumental and already had input for our commission. And of course, LaFawn, Janice, the coordinator for us. We felt the name change was more fitting for the work that we're doing. And so that's why you're going to see those come forward. Some of the future work that we want to do, the goals, LaFawn has tasked me to come up with the goals for our commission for this following year. And number one is those forums. Those are our most successful forums. I mean, we get good turnout, good community response from them. So we want to do at least 4 a year. We want to do more PSAs, get that out there to our community. We also want to be able to make a more public presence, which is my suggestion is we start getting booths, whether at the stock show, the fair, doing some community outreach in that way to for concerns on discrimination or equal employment, you know, whatever the community is, part of the education. So that's what I wanted to kind of express to you guys, but I also want to take this time to recognize and thank some of our past members. Whitney Red Counter was very instrumental in starting the hand games and what CP 101 and at the very start of our commission. I also wanted to thank Jess Rogers for all the work that she's done with being the attorney and helping us out through some of the discrimination cases that have come forward. She was still very much involved. She likes to work with with the police department and some other outreach stuff, so she's still out in the community. Cody Minas, probably got his name wrong, the pastor from Emmanuel Episcopal Church. He moved out to another community and is serving there, but he was very instrumental. And I also want to take the time to thank Malcolm Chapman. He moved on to the Bush Foundation, but Malcolm was at the very start of this commission starting up and had a big task at hand to get things going. So I do want to take the time to thank him for his service and the work that he did getting this up and going. He did a lot of outreach with the city and having some, with the employees, we're sitting down with them, I attended a few of those. So I wanted to thank those people. With that, I think we've said given you a lot of information. We're open, our doors are open, LaFawn's is open at any time if you have any questions or concerns. With that, I would stand down and if you have any questions, be willing to answer any.
Okay, well, thank you all for being here and giving us the annual update. We appreciate it. Thank you. Next on the agenda, presentation from our very own Richie Nordstrom on his experience at the National League of Cities Summit in Kansas City.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you to the council members for allowing me to go to Kansas City this last November. I thought it was a great experience again, and this opportunity to come up next year, hopefully somebody else will take the opportunity to go to that summit. As you know, I'm retiring in July of this year and will not be able to attend the next one and next November. So again, I want to say thank you for the opportunity to attend this event. And I took the mayor along with me as well, so he and I shared a lot of these events as well. And I thought it was a great experience to have that opportunity to have the chance to go to Kansas City and attend this major event. What you're seeing there is the National League of Cities website that shows the different tabs and different activities that are taking place with this particular summit. We had approximately 4,000 attendees. 40 of those workshops, I attended a couple of them, and then I got involved with the networking side of it. There was National League of Cities University, and I'll have a little bit more about that in an upcoming slide. And then the other one has to do with solution sessions. I got in a couple of those, but not enough. Hopefully we'll be able to do some additional follow-up on that through regular monthly meetings that we do with the National League of Cities, and I'll share a little bit about some of the things that I've been able to participate in on Zoom meetings with that. This kind of gives you an idea of the schedule that I went through. On the left side is a desktop application and kind of gives you an idea what the hourly events were. I had to carry my phone along with me with the different apps that were in that. That's my cell phone. What you got to see there is a screenshot of my cell phone of all the different activities that I got to attend, and then a little bit of the agenda that was off of my cell phone. So each one of those check marks over there is, one, for example, a university course that I got to take. The courses that I was able to attend was the affordable housing gap, the cultural change. DEI is a new one for me that has to do with diversity, equity, and inclusion. And there's more coming on that, and I will be able to share a little bit more about that as it comes in the monthly meetings. Digital equity is, very briefly, it amounts to is that has to do with bringing in more people and having civil discourse on that. Mindfulness is another relatively new one. A lot of people here ask them about mindfulness, and a lot of people have taken that course already. So I'm still on the steep part of the learning curve of what mindfulness stands for. It's an interesting topic and something that several people could take advantage of in the near future. And as time comes along with more of that information coming forward. It was about a year ago that I got to learn something from someone from London that brought in how they did the mindfulness approach and using civil discourse through that process. The next one that I attended was the retail strategies. It was very interesting how there is a ladder that goes into effect to get to certain, shall I say, big box stores that are available out there, but we haven't quite reached that level of those type of businesses that are interested in Rapid City. So there's a building block method that they go through, the businesses, that is, they go through to see how, in our case, what Rapid City has got already online and being used. And so when they take a look at that, plus some other there's a ton of other factors that they take into consideration for that. And then to be able to justify bringing in some of our bigger box stores that we don't have here in Rapid City right now. So, but we are in the process of building that ladder. TIS stands for Transportation Infrastructure Services, and I've got to say, first of all, the staff that we have on board right now have been willing to take my low-level knowledge and pass it on to them and say, oh, we're already using some of that. Some of it we can't use, but it's good information that they like to get a hold of and are receptive to that information. But I got to say that I'm still on a very steep part of the learning curve for that transportation infrastructure services. And then hopefully I'll get to go back to DC in March to see what the next step is in this process. And then for me, the biggest part is, can we get grant opportunities for the city of Rapid City off of this TIS? So you'll be seeing more of that coming. And again, that's part of the monthly meetings that we have as well. And it's just about almost weekly that I get one of these sessions of something from the National League of Cities. So I'm glad to hear that there's other people within the community that I can share this information with. And then the certificate on the right says I was actually there for these courses. This was another interesting topic. The mayor put me onto this one here. Thank you, Mayor Allender, for pointing this one as a vendor out there for was setting up this structure inside of this venue. So we got to see what actually looks like from this point of view from this particular vendor. And I have touched base with them on occasion after this National League of Cities Summit, and seeing what they can provide, what services they can do. And then I also said, why not think about setting up shop here in Rapid City? So they're mulling that over, and then there is some sales reps locally now for this organization. So don't know if we're going to make a dent, but we got this opportunity here in front of us as a community. And then Elevate Rapid City is also aware of this as well. The screenshot I have on the right is a service that is provided for the citizens of Rapid City. Those numbers that you see there are from this group called HomeServe, and there was a lot of concern that it was a scam coming down from the national level, and so the Public Works Department put out at least a couple of different postcards saying this is really legit, people can utilize this service, and the numbers up there show you or demonstrate to you who is actually, well, not who, but how many people within this city of Rapid City are taking advantage of this service. And it's quite impressive in my mind of what we can get for the service for protecting the utilities for the homeowners here in Rapid City. And then obviously there's more information once you get onto the QR code tons of information. And they've done it for each and individual city across the United States. So now I get to go, after all the conference and all the workshops and everything that took place, is I got a chance to take a little bit of a tour of Kansas City to see what it was like. So this booth here on the right side shows you a little bit about the things that are actually taking place in Kansas City. And they've dedicated one entire window there for a window display for one of their previous mayors. I didn't take a screenshot of that because I figured Mayor Allender might get a little jealous that we don't have something for him at the Civic Center. So I didn't put that up there. And then I was really, really encouraged to take advantage of the ribs that they have down there. It was worthwhile. Definitely worthwhile. It is, and I didn't go to one of the better establishments down there, but it was very good rib dinner down there, and it took me a while to get through all that. And then obviously you see the record up there where there's a lot of music, very good entertainment in Kansas City that originates in Kansas City, and so you're seeing the skyline of Rapid City on that. Excuse me, that album that you're seeing there. So the next thing I got the chance to do was take a walkabout through primarily the local area of the Civic Center that they have, or the convention center that they have in downtown Kansas City. The district that was, or the district that is there now, was considerably changed or redeveloped into a very modern area right now, and the first class, it was just first class what I got to see about how everything was handled down there, and some of the things that I got to see in my walkabout. And the slide on the right is the hotel I stayed in, and I've got other slides of that hotel, and how they do their security within that building is quite impressive. These are some of the buildings that I got to see I thought were very unique to me in Kansas City. I don't know the names of these buildings, but I thought they were worthwhile sharing with the folks here in Rapid City. The lower left one is a video billboard. So every so many seconds they would change to another video that was displayed up there. So I thought that was kind of unique, that now we're starting to see billboards up on the side of buildings. The last part of my walkabout is the scooters that you see there are everywhere downtown. They're all over the place, and the people seem to be utilizing them everywhere, and they pick them up and they go from place to place with those. And I saw very few people actually using them, but they're everywhere down there. So the people utilize those scooters, and it's kind of interesting to watch the different places where these are located at. The trolley system on the right side is fascinating for me because very streamlined public transportation system. It is very unique to me, and so the trolley was, I mean, it scoots along pretty good, at a pretty good clip, and then it goes stop to stop, and then I got a side view of how many passengers are on board. So it's quite heavily utilized. And I want to say that's the end of my presentation, but I also want to share with you that this afternoon on one of the National League of Cities courses that we had, got to utilize that here locally, and I want to mention that Pat Jones is going to take a lead on some of this. So Pat, stay tuned. You're going to get a ton of information on homelessness and some of the things that we've been able to try to accomplish at the National League of Cities level, and some of the information that they will provide for us. And then with the HRC group here, I want to share with them that there is also a racial healing course that I took on one of the webinars, and I shared that information with HRC, and I want to say I gave that through, passed that through Laura Armstrong, who's the liaison for that group. So thank you for that opportunity to share that information. Tons of information, and I get so much more information that I'd love to share with you at some time. So that's all I have at this time, Mayor. Thank you for allowing me to make this presentation.
All right, well, thank you, Mr. Nordstrom. Appreciate that update. Moving on with the agenda now. Next is general public comment period. And we have one speaker request form tonight for general public comment. That's from Wes Johnson and Rebecca Chapman. And the speakers tonight will have 3 minutes, so glad to hear from you.
Mr. Mayor, Council, we just wanted to introduce ourselves. I'm Wes Johnson. This is my sister, Rebecca Chapman. We are the new ownership of the Rapid City Marshals that play in the Summit Arena. So it's just very informal. We just wanted to introduce ourselves. We wanted to tell you thank you for providing the arena that you have provided. Rapid City is amazing. The Summit Arena is second to none. We are extremely fortunate to have the opportunity that we do to have an organization in the Black Hills and be able to have a business in Rapid City. So we're from Gillette, so we're not too far away. We're basically local. We're here more and more all the time. So we just wanted to say hi and say thanks for providing the Summit Arena for us to use, and we're hoping to build a really great organization in Rapid City.
Well, great, and best of luck to you.
Thank you. We hope to see you guys at a game.
All right.
All right.
Thank you. Okay, moving on with the agenda, non-public hearing items 3 through 40. There are no speaker requests on these, so we won't have an open public comment period. Next, we'll go to consent items 3 through 31. Would the council wish to pull any of these items? Or if not, I would entertain a motion to approve. Motion to approve by Armstrong, second by Stroman for items 3 through 31. All in favor of that motion, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Motion carries. Takes us to the non-consent items, items 32 through 40. Also no speaker request forms, so we will forego the public comment period. And under ordinances, starting with the number 32, first reading, Ordinance 6554, and ordinance amending Section 17.06 of Chapter 17 of the Rapid City Municipal Code. A request by KTM Design Solutions for Yasmin Dream 2 LLC for rezoning from General Agricultural District to Low Density Residential District 2 for property generally described as being located south of the intersection of Diamond Ridge Boulevard and Cadillac Drive. Motion to approve, Nordstrom. Second. Second by Evans. All in favor of approval of item 32, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 33, first reading, ordinance 6577, an ordinance amending section 17.06 of chapter 17 of the Rapid City Municipal Code. A request by Substance Architecture for NDN Holdings LLC for a rezoning request from Low Density Residential District 1 to Low Density Residential District 2 for property generally described as being located at 315 Wright Street. Motion to approve, Nordstrom, second Armstrong. All in favor of approval, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 34. First reading, ordinance 6558, an ordinance amending section 17.06 of chapter 17 of the Rapid City Municipal Code. A request by KTM Design Solutions for Yasmin Dream 3 LLC for a rezoning request for medium density residential district to public district for property generally described as being located southeast of the intersection of East Philadelphia Street and East Anamosa Street. Motion to approve, Jones. Second, Nordstrom. All in favor of approval, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 35, first reading, ordinance 6559, an ordinance amending section 17.06 of chapter 17 of the Rapid City Municipal Code. A request by Eric Williamson for John Samuelson for a rezoning request from General Commercial District to Office Commercial District for property generally described as being located northwest of the intersection of Mount Rushmore Road and Golden Eagle Drive. Motion to approve, Solomon. Second, Evans. All in favor of approval, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 36, first reading ordinance 6560 and ordinance amending section 17.06 of Chapter 17 of the Rapid City Municipal Code, a request by FMG Engineering for Fifth Park LLC for a rezoning request from General Commercial District to Office Commercial District for property generally described as being located at 4908 Fifth Street. Motion to approve, Stroman, second by Nordstrom. All in favor of approval of 36, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Community development items, item 37, a request by Howe Land Surveying for Wind River LLC for a preliminary subdivision plan for proposed lot 15A and 15B of Pleasant View subdivision property generally described as being located at 6920 Longview Road, and the committee recommendation is to approve with stipulations. We'll go to Richie Nordstrom.
Thank you, Mayor. If I may make a motion to approve with stipulations and retain the floor after a second.
Okay, second by Jones. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to acknowledge one of the stipulations, and this will go to community development. Ms. Fisher, I want to say thank you for addressing the water situation on all of these items. It was particular of interest for me because I know water is becoming a crucial issue, and it sounds like what I'm understanding is that these folks are planning for sufficient water supply for the residents that'll be moving in on these lots.
Mr. Mayor.
If I may, yield to Ms. Fisher.
Okay, Vicki Fisher.
You are correct. So there is an existing well serving the one lot. They are subdividing it. As a part of that, we want to ensure that that's going to be a shared well, that it does provide the services that they need. We'll secure it in a covenant agreement identifying ownership and maintenance and ensure that the service lines are also secured in an easement for maintenance as well. And we work closely with the Public Works Department to ensure those don't get overlooked when we're looking at development that's outside the city limits in our 3 mile that rely on private on-site utilities.
Okay, the motion on the floor is to approve with stipulations. All in favor of that motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 38, a request by Long Branch Civil Engineering at Loggy Construction for a preliminary subdivision plan for proposed lots 5R and 6 through Lot 9 and Reservoir Lot 1 of Block 4 of the ranch at Black Gap. Property generally described as being located east of the intersection of Highway 79 and Ambush Ranch Road. Again, the recommendation is to approve with stipulations. That motion made by Nordstrom, second by Evans, to approve with stipulations. All in favor of that motion, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Now, item 39, a request by PLS Interstate Engineering for Kerry Kasubi for a preliminary subdivision plan for proposed lot 1A and 2A of Lot J in parcel number 2 of Canyon Park, property generally described as being located at 5900 West Highway 44, and the recommendation is to approve with stipulations. Okay, Mr. Evans, approve with stipulations. We have a second by Jones to that motion. All in favor of approving the stipulations, item 39, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Alcoholic beverage 2023 renewal license application. Justin Hendrickson, doing business as Windsor Block Bar for renewal of retail liquor license, RL 5859 at 627 St. Joseph Street. Pat Jones.
I'll move approval, and I'd like to keep the floor if I can have a second, please.
Second by Nordstrom. Go ahead.
As I learned, and maybe others learned a few weeks ago when we first talked about this, even though this says liquor license, it is not actually liquor license, it is beer and wine only. Is that correct, Ms. Fisher?
Mr. Mayor, so this is actually a Windsor bar. So in this particular instance, this would be for what we refer to as hard liquor. But in looking at the scope of when we do issue an on-sale liquor license, it says on-sale liquor license for, and it could be beer, wine, or a full-scale hard liquor license.
And that's what this is?
Correct.
So it was a, as it states here, it was a license that was inactive and is now activated?
I will defer to Tracy since this is being issued by her department.
Tracy Davis.
So yes, this was inactive, and he is renewing it now, and it will be active.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion to approve on the floor. Right? Yes, sir. Okay, that's what I thought. All in favor of approval, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Public hearing items 41 and 42, there are no speaker requests on these items, so therefore no public hearing testimony. That'll take us to consent public hearing items 41 and 42. Would there be a motion? Motion to approve 41 and 42 by Nordstrom. Second by Stroman. All in favor of approval of the consent public hearing items, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item then 43 is the bill list, and we'll go to Interim Finance Director Tracy Davis.
There are no changes to the bill list, so as presented to you, it's $6,484,479.39.
Motion to approve Solomon, second by Jones. All in favor of that motion, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. I have a question for the audience. The three young people seated out here, are you being punished for something, or are you interested? Okay, sorry. I didn't recognize you. Our youth city council is attending, so that's good. Well, it's not punishment, it's a treat then. Thank you for being here, yeah. Okay. All right, we have a motion to adjourn by Armstrong. Second, Solomon. All in favor, say aye. Aye. We are adjourned.